Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Crappy says, thanks for tuning in. Kind of a giveaway. Yes, I've gotten a delivery today from PenBBS official store on Etsy. And it took 15 days from order to receipt, which is faster than I've ever gotten anything from them before. So let's move Crab aside and let's show you what these are. Yes, it's a 471. I got them both with a medium nib and they come with gold trim. So let's take a look at them. So in each box was a plastic syringe, because these are eyedropper only, and a roller ball if you were so inclined. Each pen came in a plastic sleeve, and here are the pens. So when I went on Etsy and these first became available a couple weeks ago, early January of 2019, I just was enamored with this color, which according to the description is number 37. Nyanggo. We'll see what that means. Of course, the other one is just your typical number 9 Summer. But I don't have a 37. I don't have this acrylic in any other PenBBS pen, so I wanted to get it. It looked really good on the Etsy page. As usual, sometimes when you get the pen in these hand poured acrylics, it's going to look slightly different, and I think this does look slightly different, but not as much different as I thought. So this is an interesting design for a pocket pen. So in some ways it's very typical with the unscrew, the fact that you can post it very securely, it fits well in the hand. But where it starts to get different is that number 6 nib. And I got a medium. I've been focusing on getting mediums. I got a ton of the fines, so I don't need any more of those. And I enjoy the way the medium writes. Nice tipping material on there. Nice way that it's prepared. And I like the grip. The section is quite nice. And it does fit well in the hand posted. Some people have talked about the metal ring being unnecessary, but it allows you to do a couple things. It allows you to change the way the pen posts, so you just use the other end of the barrel, and that'll post now when the pen is lighter, because that ring has a decent amount of weight to it relative to the weight of the pen. And of course, if you want to, you could do this. But then you couldn't do this. And of course, it's not going to go on that way. So it's interesting to play around. I mean, it's certainly something different, and that's one thing I'll give PenBBS credit for. They're not afraid of trying something different. And I think most of the time it works very well. So here's the Summer one. Has some translucency to it, so it's going to be interesting to see the ink in there. Unfortunately, you're not going to see ink in this review. This pen I did ink up and will be putting nib on paper. Here we have both 471s somewhat disassembled. The blue Summer pretty much fully disassembled. Remove the nib and feed out of the collar. Both of them have the same gold ring, which can be used or not used depending upon how you like the pen look and feel. In this one I have the nib and feed all put together in the section. Here's the section without the feed in it. So two interesting acrylics. One of I have a lot of the Summer ones, the blue ones, but this is my first one of the other color, which I need to figure out what it is. But I will earlier, that you'll see in the video, but not right now. So the nice Summer Nice winter light coming in, which I think can show off this acrylic pretty nicely. I mean, all of the acrylics I find to be very good. I wanted this one because I wanted some transparency, so this one you'll be able to see the ink level. It looks like it'll hold maybe 1.5 mils, but I'll measure that and see what it actually comes out to be. You know, this is just very interesting, this kind of ice pattern that you get. You know, the thickness is pretty good. I've never had a durability issue or anything else with any of the PenBBS pens, so I don't expect anything with these. You know, we're going to be comparing these to the other pocket pens I have, which are a similar design. This seems to be now a popular current design where you have, you know, a threaded cap that works on a section that allows you to put the pen into a good size to write with very securely, and then also then put it back into a pocket-sized pen that can easily be put into your pocket and move from place to place. Well, the first thing you should ask is, how does this compare to comparable pocket pens? And obviously the Wong Kai from Moonman is the obvious choice, and it is extremely similar. You know, with that band on it, it's almost the identical length. This is the Maru pen, which is thinner and longer. And we have both of the 471s here just to keep things in perspective. You know, this unscrews, it screws to post. So one of the obvious differences are the barrel that has ink in it. There's a lot more ink, probably double. There's like a little bit less than 1.5 that fits into the 471s, and over 2 goes into the Moonman. The Moonman section is similar. The nib is smaller because it's a number 5 nib, and the overall length when it is posted with this cap is about the same. So we'll compare it to the other 471 without the gold ring, and there it's a more comparable length. But that number 6 nib is the first time, at least in my experience, that a pen of this size has a number 6 nib on it. So we'll take a quick look at this just to put things in perspective. I think it's interesting to keep things in perspective. So as you would expect, the Maru pen is much longer when it's capped, but it does have a thinner section, a similar size nib to the Moonman. But all of these 4 pens, I enjoy each of them in their own way. They're both extremely visually interesting, beautiful, fabulous. So that's the fun part about it. And I really appreciate what PenBBS has done. You know, they've taken a classic pocket pen design and added some elements to it, like the gold ring, a number 6 nib. You know, it's a good size section, so it doesn't feel small in the hand when you're writing with it. And that's nice, because I know a lot of people may not appreciate those pocket pens because of the smaller nibs and the smaller sections, and now you have a pocket pen that doesn't have those characteristics. Now let's show you the weights. The top one is the 471 with no ink. Then 471 filled with ink. It's about 1.2 grams different. The Maru pen is 12.1 and the Wong Kai is 13.1, and the difference there might be because both of those have ink in them, that the Wong Kai has more ink. You know, milliliter of ink is about 1 gram, I guess. I'll check that out. And the gold band weighs 4.2. So if you take away the gold band, the 471 weighs what in the same range as the Wong Kai and the Maru pen, so that's what you would expect with an all-acrylic pen, that they're going to be about the same weight. So that's where I think the gold band really gives you a lot of versatility, because you can add about 25% more to the weight. You can change the balance, whether you want it more towards the middle, more towards the end, etc., etc. So kudos to PenBBS and a interesting design. We'd be remiss if I didn't show you a nice close-up of this gold band. It also comes in silver on some of the models. Here's some of the colors that I saw on eBay. And as usual, the pricing is varied a lot from who's ever selling and what the color of the resin is. You know, the facets look nice. They just did another interesting job. No Shanghai on this, but we have some interesting design elements around the 471 model number. So you might ask, what ink to put in it? Well, this is an ink I recently picked up. I thought it would be an interesting ink, and you know, for $8, I thought it was just a good investment. The bottles are not my favorite bottle because it's kind of narrow up here, so big pens aren't going to fit in it, but that's what syringes are for. So here's the color card. It's definitely a darker purple, and it does have some sheen to it, as you can see from that blog I put down. And if we go to the chromatography, you know, it's bluish purple. So maybe some black there at the very end. So you got black, blue, and I don't know whether that makes purple or not, but it certainly is an interesting color. And I like the intensity and the saturation of the color. So I think this is the best way from my viewpoint to use the pen for writing. It's extremely balanced. It fits nice and feels nice in the hand. And that really, again, it touts to the interesting approach that PenBBS has taken to the design of this pocket pen. I mean, I think it's a very nice nib. It's certainly different than the fine nib that's typically been in the PenBBS pens. I mean, it writes smooth, clean, without any pressure. It's on the thin side of medium. You add a little bit of pressure, it's definitely on the wider side of medium. This ink works extremely well in this pen. So I really appreciate that. And it doesn't matter what direction you write in. In honor of Wasky, we're going to do reverse writing. And it actually works okay. It's smooth, and you have pretty much an extra fine line. So for those that like to switch their pens around and write on the other side, that can be done. And you can see how the color of this ink changes a lot based on how much ink is put down on the piece of paper. So that's interesting to see. So now we're going to rate this pen. I'm going to give it a 9.3. The nib is great. The design is great. It looks great. It feels good in the hand. It may not be for everybody, but then no pen is for everybody. I'm really happy that I got this acrylic. So now, you know, maybe it's someday, I don't think I'll ever be able to have at least one example of every acrylic that PenBBS has ever used, but I'm certainly not shy about trying to do that. So if you've enjoyed this look at a new pen from PenBBS, you know, after doing filling systems, now they're into different functional sized pens. So again, kudos to them. Yeah, I don't think any pen manufacturer I'm aware of has the wide range of pens that PenBBS does make, nor the incredible range of acrylics that they use. So that makes them unique, and all the pens are good. They all write good. They all feel good ergonomically. Again, pens designed by people that use pens. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this view, and may it encourage you to explore the incredible world of pens out there, and inks and paper and nibs and et cetera, et cetera. It certainly enriches my life, and hopefully yours too. So here's the end of this video. May you have a glorious day, We have sun and very frigid temperatures, but it's actually wind has died down, so it's actually an interesting winter day. So until the next video, bye for now. Very nice nib, very nice ink.